Okay, next page. The part identified by the word of is often called the base. And the part identified by the word is called the percentage. If we use these words, we get equation E. In equation E, P over 100 times the base equals percentage. F rate times base equals percentage. So what you really need to know about this is that there's lots of ways to do this. And different people like different ways. It makes sense to them differently. So find what works for you and stick with that. Let's look at 47.1, and I would like you to copy this in your notes. Okay. So this is just illustrating the fact that learning to draw it out so you can visualize the growth of it or the shrinkage of it really makes a difference. Okay, let's look at it. 20% of what number is 15? Work the problem and then draw a diagram of the problem. We will use equation C and use 20 for percent. What number, or WN for what number, and 15 for is. P over 100 times of equals is. So we're going to say it tells us 20%, so that'll be 20 over 100. That's how we write that. Times what number? We don't know what number is. We could actually just use X. Is, and it tells us is 15. So equals is the same thing as is, right? Okay. We will solve by multiplying both sides by the reciprocal of this, which is 100 over 20. This cancels out. What you do to one side, you must do to the other. And now we've isolated X. X equals 15. I'm just going to add these zeros over 20. And then if we do the math, we can find that X equals 75. Okay, so now the second part is to draw a diagram. The before diagram is 75, which represents 100%. Because remember the equation. 20% of, let's say, 75 is 15. So a whole pie is 100%, right? 100% is the whole pie. I'm going to eat a pie. I'm going to eat the whole thing. I'm going to eat 100% of it. Let's say that pie has 75 slices. It's quite a big pie. So now we're going to have the second part. The after diagram shows that 15 is 20%. Thus, the other part must be 60, which is 80. Because 80 plus 20 gives us 100%. So if we say 100 minus 20, we get 80%. So 15 is, we're going to roughly draw 20% of this pie equals 20%. 60, now where did we get 60 from? $75 minus 15 equals 60. 75, the total, minus the percentage, gives us 60, which is the rest of it, 80%. So this is just kind of taking what you know and plugging in to find the rest, because we know it's got to equal 100. If we have this number, we can figure out the rest. If we have this number, the percentage that you're taking out, the percentage that's remaining. So it's just a lot of extra steps to make sure that you know where every piece of pie is. If you're like me, you always know where every piece of the pie is. So a lot of people get a little bit confused by this, but just draw your whole circle again. Here's 100%. I'm going to try to divide this into 20%. So if I did it like this, this would be 25. So maybe I could say it's like this much would be 20%. It doesn't have to be to scale. 20% in this case equals 15. And the rest of this, let me take some of this away. So here's my 20%. What's going to be left to make up the pie? What do I add to 20 to make 100? 80%. If we know 20% equals 15, what do I need to equal 75? What plus 15 equals 75? 60. So it's just filling in the information with things that you already know.